Hi, Dave here from Informed American. I hope you had a great Memorial Day weekend. We posed a question to you that's gotten a lot of you riled up. Would you comply with a second lockdown order in the event of a second wave of infections coming in, and state governors say, "Look, we got to go back to what we were doing before. We got to lock this thing down again." And many of you are absolutely not having it. We got a lot of comments from you all. I've got the live chat here will be open if you wanna talk about it with me. I mean, many of you were just like, no, not gonna do it. It's not gonna happen. I will not do it. And let me just explain maybe what might be going on. We just had Memorial Day weekend, and I don't know what the situation was in your local area, but in my area, my wife and I went out on Saturday and Sunday for a little shopping. Almost every single store is open now, and of course the beaches. As we got to Memorial Day weekend, this unofficial beginning of summer, and everyone was out and about. We didn't go to the beach, but because it kind of rained here, it just didn't happen. And I also wanted to avoid the crowds, to be honest, but because it can get crazy in my area, in the neck of the woods here in the Tampa area with our nice beaches. So everyone was piling in. I avoided the crowds. But here's the idea. I mean, let's say, and you saw the stories around the country of people being out and about. It's not just Florida. It's, there was one from Ocean City, Maryland, Coney Island in New York, all over the place. People are out and about. And of course, there's that one, I don't know if you saw that one from the Lake of the Ozarks. I mean, people just piled into pools, all congregated together. The worry is, and Sandy Graff says here, hi Sandy, thanks for tuning in. Sandy, would you obey a second lockdown order if there's another wave of infections? What would you do? Maybe the idea is that we all got out on Memorial Day, we all just kind of flooded, and it does seem like we've hit sort of that, we've kind of gone past a barrier and things are starting to open up again. What if another huge wave of infections hit and people end up in the hospitals and we're back to where we are in April and governors say, no, look, we've got that July 4th holiday coming up and we can't let another Memorial Day happen. We have to shut down for another couple of months. What do you do? Now, I don't know that we're going to get there. I certainly hope we don't. And I think it'd be a really tough sell, especially in other words, just, reading the temperature of the room. In other words, getting the sense from all of you saying no, 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 no. Just my announcement post letting you know the video, we got about 23 comments, and I think every single one of them said, no, thank you. I will not comply. A couple of you said, I didn't comply the first time, so I'm not going to comply the second time. Debbie Melvin said, nope, I didn't comply with this one. Yeah, so there we go. Right on time. I mean, what didn't you do? I mean, did you not stay at home? Were you ordered to stay at home and you didn't, or did you run a? Well, I don't want you to incriminate yourself, but what didn't you comply with? I'd be curious to know for all of you, because there was a couple of you that said, yeah, I didn't go along with it the first time, and I'm certainly not going to do it this time. But we did ask you this poll question a couple of days ago, and 88%, not surprisingly, given some of the comments I've been getting today, said no. And how we phrased it was, because the president made a comment saying that he would not shut the economy down again. But it's not really up to him. It's the decision ultimately falls to the state governors. Robert says, nope. Not gonna happen. And I feel like there was actually a video from there's a video from somewhere in North Carolina. It's called like Free North Carolina, and he said I'm willing to use violence to open up the economy. Not that any of you are going to say that, but people have very strong feelings. It's time to just do this. And if infections rise, which they probably will, as we're all getting up in each other's business and interacting a lot more, infections will rise and maybe deaths will rise, and there's going to be that call. I know I'm with all of you. I don't think they can even do the lockdown again. Because people just will not obey, and I'm just going, no, arrest me. I'm going to open up my business. Go ahead and arrest me. And, we saw a couple of those go over, the last couple of weeks, salon owners, stuff like that. But if everybody does it, then they can't, they can't arrest everybody. I mean, they say they could, but they won't. you're gonna get a cop come up to you and he's gonna be like, no, I'm not gonna enforce this. Good luck, and that's what it's gonna be, and it may mean more infections and it may mean deaths, but we can't do what we did over the last 3 months again. We cannot go through that pain again. We got another couple of comments. Rhonda Thomas says, I don't want to, but nowhere to go, and nothing to do when it was closed. I did, and I'll continue to fight it. Yeah, so. That's a good point, Rhonda. It's sort of like, even if how do you not comply, right? That was kind of my question earlier. If the businesses comply and the schools shut down, well, where do you go? You can't force your kid to go to school. You can't make the business open up. So if it does happen, yeah, I mean, but again, will business owners, this is really more of a question for business owners, isn't it? And maybe school officials or something like that. Will a business owner comply? D says no. Linda Hines says absolutely not. I haven't, and I will not ever surrender my rights. All right, you tell us, Linda. Thank you. Thanks for those comments. So we also had there's a weird quirk in Facebook where the announcement post kind of disappears, so I kind of missed all of your comments. So thank you to who commented on that. It will reappear on the page, but right now I can't see it. But I do want to highlight a couple of the ones from the poll that we asked you, because just going back here, because Trump said he wasn't going to open the economy, but it's up to the state governor. We got by the way, wasn't in Michigan? Didn't Whitmer extend that thing to July 4th or something like that? I don't know. Michael Boyle said this two-party war has already played itself out. All law enforcement officers will have to make a choice, or there will be bloodshed. Our rights are as documented. Their oaths are our oaths. Shelley Snipes. Yeah, it's what are the cops going to do? What do you think the cops are going to do? They tell all the businesses to shut down back again, and a salon owner says, no, I'm going to do it. What does the cop do? Does the cop arrest him? Or does the cop say, forget this? If a cop is anything like you and me, they will let that business stay open. Barbara Rathen says, we are forced to go out or go to jail we are forced to go to jail with fines. We have tyranny in California. Governor Newsom is not representative of the people. He is with the swamp. And we have an anti-World Health Organization and CDC comment there, which I agree with. Steven says, governors hold an executive position. Their authority extends to those that work for the state and no one else. Their orders have no force upon the citizens of their state. They cannot make law. Only legislatures can make law, and those laws are subordinate to the supreme law of the land. In other words, the Constitution of the United States. Arrests for violating a governor's directive, which is not a law, is a false arrest. The arresting entity has no lawful authority to make that arrest. Citizens need to sue individuals who falsely arrest them. Judges and law enforcement officers who betray their oath and play along with the charade need to be disbarred and jailed. Wow, great comment there, Stephen. Well thought out. And it does raise the question, because this thing, by the way, we got a comment from Kevin Carl, said, no, didn't really do it 100% the first time. I'm curious, what were you guys doing? What were you all up to during the lockdown? Many of you saying you weren't complying. What was going on here? But back to Steven's comment, it's very interesting, because this thing didn't really get a chance to work its way through the courts, all these orders, did they? I mean, we just sort of, the governors issued them, or the county officials or city officials issued them, and we all just kind of said, yeah, all right, this thing's really scary. We don't know what to do, especially in the beginning. It was really terrifying, and no one really knew how bad it was going to be. And luckily, it turned out, as many of you thought and predicted, not as bad as predicted. But was there anyone who really went to court and challenged it? And how long would it take to work through the system? And that answer may be settled basically after the fact. But I would like to see a resolution to that and get an answer, because this isn't going to be the last time something like this happens. And then, as some of you may be worried about, does this set a precedent for some other future action? We could shut it down for the virus. Well, can we shut things down for something else? Or, what if another virus shows up? Or what if there's some other thing, some other crisis going on, and they use the precedent of the coronavirus to shut down the economy, shut things down in the state as their way of doing it again? And that's tyranny too. That very much could be. So I'd like to see a full resolution there. We got another comment here from Dorota Peterson, no, no. I really, well, if anybody is listening, I would like to know what you did. But I would like to know if anyone's willing to say what was your. Give me an example of non-compliance. I got a comment here from John Hall. No, all rights, no responsibility. Tim Lauer says, I'm an adult and the governor is not my mama. That's right, Tim. Lois Collier says, Lois Collier Smith says, the first one should have never happened. This is a plandemic, not a pandemic. Ooh. Carol Hamilton says, not cooperating with these idiots in power here now. Meet gruesome Newsom. I'm thinking referring to the California governor and Mayor Garcetti. I don't know who that is. I've had enough. Laurel says, no, because I am the government. It's supposed to do the bidding of the people and not the other way around. Well, I have complied by wearing masks, social distancing, etc., and will continue to do so as I deem necessary. I will not be scared into slavery. Mark Underwood says, I will reply to the request of the local government because they have an interest in my health, and I surely don't want to get the virus and die from it. Yeah, because that's the other side, right? And what if you get sick? What if it does get worse? What if the thing mutates? And see, that's the worry, But at this point, what can we do? I mean, we got almost 40 million people out of work. We've got companies going bankrupt. People unable to make the payments on their homes. I mean, what's worse? And there was that story last week. I did a video of that J.P. Morgan analyst that said the lockdowns might kill more people than the virus, and there's a little bit of evidence coming out of that. You basically, there's suicides, there's basically deaths of despair, all that stuff. And if you lose your job and if you become long-term unemployed, your health deteriorates for years. I mean, you could end up, dying 10 years earlier, 15 years earlier than you otherwise would have because you become unemployed and you can't take care of yourself. Maybe you don't get insurance, you can't go to the doctor. What are the long-term consequences? What are the long-term consequences of people who maybe could have got their cancer caught on an early screening, but all hospitals were shut down to everything except for corona victims? What about that? What about people who had surgery? What about, who had, maybe they needed an operation and now, 2-3 months later, whatever that problem that they had before is so much worse and maybe inoperable. So crazy. Lots of stuff going on here. We got another comment here from Jeremy Lipomi. Left-wing media turned COVID-19 into a political weapon. They instilled fear in the people and set the stage for prolonged blue state shutdowns, knowing the longer the shutdown, the more permanent the damage to President Trump's economy. It's political and anti-Trump, all targeting the 2020 election. The longer blue states keep it shut down, the better the chance the economy will not rebound before the 2020 election. Very sad. And then Matthew Miller says 100,000 dead Americans and their families will disagree with you. Very it's contentious stuff, isn't it? And it does seem, the lockdowns do seem a bit political. It's hard to avoid that fact. It particularly, look, I'll give you an example. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, I think the guy's done a good job. And he's been hammered. He was hammered for opening up the beaches. Meanwhile, in New York, Governor Cuomo making nursing homes take COVID-19 patients by order of the governor. And, 6,000 dead as a result. It's heaping praise in the media. So it is political a bit. But yes, that 100,000 death, that's a lot of people and certainly not good. Ryan Adams says, where were all you at NAC in March? Why are you coming more now? I don't know what that means. D says, I was always out. I'm an essential drone. Okay. Okay, D. Thank you. Well, then we got one here. D was deemed an essential drone and was allowed to do whatever she needed to do. So I take by that as a worker, whatever your company was, you were deemed essential and you were kept on. Hopefully, D, hopefully you were okay and didn't get sick, and those around you didn't get sick. I do feel for those who, it's all right. As one hand, right, you lose your job, which sucks, but then maybe you got to go to work, and which exposes you to the virus. So it's really tough all around. I'm just going to read a couple of more before I get out of here because I know this one has riled you all up so much. Becky says, tyrants at the state level, we will not comply. Jan says, this whole thing is just fear-mongering. The coronavirus has a 98% recovery rate unless you have a previous condition or you're old. There's no need for a lockdown. Just it's the most vulnerable. Use extra caution. And by the way, I only have one lung. But I didn't lock down. There we go. So Jan, or is it Jan possibly? Jan's got one lung, and they're not afraid. Carol Hamilton says, I am both, and I'd rather have the choice of what to do with my life. There's no business stealing my time, and now they owes me about 3 months and counting. Yeah, maybe a sue for lost time. And at the end of the day, it is kind of a personal health decision, right? I mean, I went out with my wife. We went shopping. We both wore masks. We went and I bought a shirt and a pair of pants and a couple other stuff. I mean, did I have to go out? I didn't need it, but I wanted to go out and I took the risk, that kind of thing. But I wore the mask. It doesn't bother me. I think it's okay. Most everyone else is wearing a mask. If you don't want to wear it, that's okay too. It's up to you. I don't mind. But everyone's got to sort of make that. That's what it's going to be, right? You're going to have to make that individual health decision for yourself. What's your level of risk? Not necessarily. I mean, at this point, here we are in late May, almost June. At this point, there's going to have to be some personal decision making on how much you're willing to go out there and risk things. We got a comment here from Janet Woodworth. Hell no! 3 exclamation points. We got a couple of more here. Yes. Oh wow. Okay. So dissent here. So by the way, where were we at? 88% said no. 12% said yes. So I think we maybe have a yes. From Dorothy Maru Cavendish says yes, because it's not about you. It's about everyone. Jeez, you're not being asked to dig a hole and live underground. Just stay home except when necessary for food, etc. What are you missing out on? Drinking at a bar? Get over yourself and comply. And more here. It will be fewer lives lost and back to normal if all comply. Look at how Germany and New Zealand handled the outbreak. The Trump made big mistakes, and he won't admit it when he's given warnings. His mistakes caused the loss of many lives. So Dorothy says, yes, I will comply, and you should comply, because if you don't, it's going to lead to more deaths. What do you guys think about that? We got a couple of replies to that, which is saying, it's about American rights. So yeah, it's about time. If you're scared, stay home. So this is balance, right? Public health versus public autonomy, I guess, or rights, if you want to call that balance. Teresa replies, you are being asked to allow your economy to collapse, putting people out of work, businesses closing, and they're not coming back, watching people's lives being destroyed. Yeah, it's tough, guys. It really is tough. And I really don't, for even those 12, I disagree. I say we shouldn't comply and you shouldn't lock it down, but I get it. I understand that 12%. And I understand that fear. We don't want people to get sick and die. We really don't. And how do you balance it? It's tough. But I say we did it. We locked it down. We all got together yesterday and over the weekend, and many people piled into each other. They're out there drinking, having a good time, out at the beach, doing whatever, doing cookouts and stuff. And we may see a bump in infections. We may see a bump in deaths. And you may see calls from officials, governors, to lock things down again. Go back from maybe whatever, if you're in Florida, they've got a phase plan. Go back, say you're in phase 2, now we got to go back to phase 1. And then we'll reevaluate. You may hear talk of that. And so that could be coming down. And July 4th may not look like Memorial Day. Let's hope it doesn't happen. Let's hope everyone stayed safe. Let's hope this virus will peter out over the summer, and we could all get back to normal. I want to thank all of you for your comments. This was great, guys. It was great to come back here. D replied, so you work at Publix. Okay, D. Wow, thank you for doing that, by the way. Publix is a grocery store here in the South, if you don't know it. So you were an essential worker. I appreciate you going out there every day. I love Publix, by the way. I love going there. I love the store, and that's fantastic. So it's good to see that you good for two things. One, you were able to keep your job, and I hope by you being here and replying that you're healthy and you're safe, and hopefully your family is safe as well. So I'm going to get out of here. I want to thank you all for watching. Remember to head on. If you don't, I think the poll is almost out, so you can still vote there. I don't know if that's really going to get swayed. There was just 12% saying yes, but I would appreciate you all for watching. Remember to head on over to informedamerican.com, where you can get real smart news in your inbox every day by signing up for our daily letter. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video.